Here we go. Your forgiveness is like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. It's like the sounds of a symphony to my ear. It's like holy water on my skin. Psalm 119, verses 102 through 104. I do not turn aside from your rules, for you have taught me. How sweet are your words to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through your precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way.
So today we're going to be looking at the song Holy Water by We the Kingdom. And Holy Water, the whole song actually hinges on what Jeff just sang. It's that concept of forgiveness, how sweet forgiveness is, how important forgiveness is. There are two really big themes that run throughout this song. One is our need, our desperate need, I would say, our desperate need for repentance that leads to forgiveness, how important that is and how that feels with us. The other really important theme is the idea that we're coming from death into life. And so let's just kind of look at a couple of the verses and some of the words, and we'll talk about the bridge as well. All right, so verse 1, it starts off by saying, God, I'm on my knees again, right? And right there, you're going to see once again, we're going to talk about this as a testimony song. Here's what the concept of forgiveness means to me. So God, I'm on my knees again. God, I'm begging, please, again. It's interesting that they use that word again twice. It's the idea that we're going to continue to be searching for God. So when we sing this song, we realize that this is not the beginning of the story. It's not the end of the story. This is where we are in the middle of our story of seeking out God's forgiveness. And then the next verse starts off by saying, walking down this desert road, water for my thirsty soul. I need you, oh God, I need you, right? And once again, you see that desperation in there. I like what Jeff says about that particular verse. The fact that when you're in a desert, you realize that nothing around you is offering anything to you. It's kind of like walking through the world. The world doesn't give us anything that we really need. And so when we sing, we recognize that we're singing this song to the only person in a desert world that can actually supply what we need. And that, again, is that idea of forgiveness. So those first two verses, they're all about our needs and our need for repentance, our need to say, man, I am still broken from my sin. I'm still sorry for my sin. I'm on my knees again. Here I am pleading with you again. And I realize that nobody else can answer this. But then the other theme that we see, this idea of coming from death to life, the third verse, it says, dead man walking, slave to sin. I want to know about being born again. And right there we see a little picture of, John 3, the idea of Nicodemus talking to God, talking to Jesus, and Jesus says, well, you know a lot. Here's what you're missing. You're missing the truth of being born again. And Nicodemus questions Jesus and says, well, wait, can a man be born from his mother's womb again? And Jesus says, you don't understand the concept. So this holy water song, it talks about that concept as well. The next verse says, so take me to the riverside, take me under and baptize me. And again, that's the theory of baptism, is that we go from death to life. We go from our old way of life to a new and glorious way of life. This is what God does for us. So when we sing that song, once again, we want to realize that the wages of our sin have kind of taken over, and we want to surrender that to Christ. And it's almost a song of I sure hope you'll do something really nice, God. I pray that you will forgive me. I pray for that forgiveness. And that's why the verse says, your forgiveness is like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. That's what Jeff read, Psalm 119. Great picture of that sweet, sweet honey. Verse 103, it's like the sound of a symphony to my ears. Not just the sound of one little piece of forgiveness, but the entire band has gotten together to say, you are free. It's like holy water on my skin, which again, there's an interesting concept right there. All right, this is not something that we ingest. It's not something that we just look at. This is something that is used in the purification rites, that is used in the cleansing rites. I'm going to be free of all of the filth of this world. I'm going to be free of the filth of the desert when all of a sudden that holy water touches my lips. What makes it holy? Only the presence of God makes it holy. There's nothing special about water. There's nothing special about baptism. There's nothing special about my repentance until the presence of God comes in. And one other thing, Jeff's favorite part of the book here is in the bridge. It says, I don't want to abuse your grace. God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me want to change. And so in Romans 6, we see kind of a picture of that. Romans 6, verses 1 and 2. If I can find Romans in my Bible here. I'm pretty sure it's still there. Oh, look at that. Romans 6 says this. What shall we say then? Are we to continue in sin so that grace may increase? May it never be. How shall we, who died to sin, still live in sin? In other words, that forgiveness that we receive from God, not only is it something that we just desperately need, not only is it life from death, but it's also something that we understand we don't want to abuse it. We don't want to take advantage of it. What we really want to do is recognize that we need it every single day for every single thing. And so that's the theory behind the idea of holy water, the song that we'll sing right now. So Jeff, take it away, man.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask a question.
So the separation between the fact that we did our final or our eternal repentance before Christ saves us, but there's a need to keep coming back in the repentance of our daily sins. Is that? I think that's a little bit confusing to people that are maybe not as versed or biblically.
Yeah. I see where you're going there. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great picture of what Romans says to us, first of all. It does talk about the immediate regeneration, but then it also talks about the need to constantly revisit that. We're not saying, God, I need your forgiveness once and for all. And so since we're not saying that, what exactly does that mean? And that's why I think the phrase or the title of the song, Holy Water, that's why I think that's such an apt title here, because we understand that water is actually something that we need every day. Water is something that we begin to ingest every time we get thirsty. And that doesn't mean that it's only showing up when we get thirsty. It means that it's always available for us. And so it is with forgiveness, right? That when we ask God for forgiveness the first time, it's almost like he turns on that spigot and says, all right, here's what I've got to offer you. Every time you thirst for this, you go and you run and you grab it. You're not going to need the introduction anymore, but you'll always have it available. That's the nature of my grace. Right? Yeah.
God, I'm on my knees again. God, I'm begging, please again. I need you. Oh, I need you. Walking down these desert roads, water for my thirsty soul. I need you. Oh, I need you. Your forgiveness, like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. It's like the sounds of symphony to my ear. It's like holy water on my skin.
Dead man walking.
Dead man walking slave to sin. I wanna know about being born again. I need you. Oh God, I need you.
Take me.
Take me to the riverside. Take me on to baptize. I need you. God, I need you. Your forgiveness is like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. It's like sounds of a symphony to my ears. It's like holy water on my skin. I don't wanna abuse your grace. God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me wanna change. I don't wanna abuse your grace. God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me wanna change. I don't wanna abuse your grace. God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me wanna change. Your forgiveness is like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. It's like sounds of a symphony to my ears. It's like holy water on my skin. It's like holy water.
Thanks, Jeff. And thank y'all for watching. Worship well. Have a great day. Oh, one other thing. What's that?